So guys, Errol Spence says he would cut weight to fight at 160 against Canelo Alvarez. I made a video about this before and saying I think it would be silly. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that this fight makes any sense. If I'm totally honest with you, Errol Spence is saying that he would cut weight. Here's the thing, right? Canelo's naturally fighting in those weight classes, right? And I would say naturally he's a 160 pounder. Thing is with Errol Spence fighting at 147, just because you walking around at 180, that doesn't mean that that's your fighting weight. If Errol Spence is fighting at 147, is because that's his fighting weight. If you were to move up another 13 pounds, right, it'll affect you. It'll affect your speed, the way you move. It'll affect everything. It will affect a lot of Errol Spence's attributes. Just because you think you walk around at 180, that doesn't mean anything. He's a big welterweight, but he's not a big middleweight. He's actually very small. He'll be a very, very small middleweight. He'd even be a small light middleweight. Errol Spence what is he? He was a little bit taller than Kell Brook. There's some guys at 154 that are almost 6 foot. And Canelo, listen, Canelo's not 6 foot, he's 5'8", 5'9". But if you look at Canelo's body frame, it's massive. If you look at his thickness of his body, it's massive. Errol Spence is a skinny, long dude. A skinny kind of muscular, but it's not built for a middleweight as far as I'm concerned. And I think just because he's gonna cut weight and he's not walking around at 160, that doesn't mean that you can fight at 160. If you're walking around at 180, that's fat. You're not walking around at 180 ripped or walking around at 180 at fighting weight. Because if that was the case, then why aren't you fighting at light heavyweight then? There's a reason why Errol Spence is fighting at welterweight. There's a reason, right? Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. Why his team would say fight at middleweight or fight at light middleweight or fight at super middleweight if you're cutting that much weight. It's because naturally Errol Spence is a welterweight. All fighters, most fighters come down from a heavier weight down to their fighting weight. Very few fighters, only the ones that gifted like Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, that moved up so many weight classes, were able to fight at their walking weight. Not many people have that kind of talent where they can fight at their walking weight. You have to be extremely gifted, because what you're doing is you're giving away a lot of natural size, right? So it's like if Errol Spence is saying he's walking around at 180, right? It's like him fighting at light heavyweight, but he couldn't do that. He hasn't got the kind of skills, the kind that those guys had to fight at his walking weight. Those guys were phenomenons. That's why they were able to do that. We're talking about two of the greatest fighters ever. And most of the greatest fighters ever that came from lower weight classes were doing that. They were fighting around at their walking weight. There's very few fighters that can do that. Very few fighters that can do that. So I don't think it would be a good idea for Errol Spence to move to 160 to face Canelo. I think Errol Spence would be in big trouble. Would be in big trouble. And especially now coming after the accident, I would advise him not to do it even more so, because I think that fight is dangerous. For me, it's a crazy fight. Crazy fight. And I don't think people that are handling Errol Spence should be telling him to take a fight like that. It'd be stupid. I think it's just talk. I just think it's all talk. I just think he's trying to use Canelo's name for a little bit of publicity. I don't think he's serious, in my opinion. But leave your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.